Well, hey everybody, and welcome back into the Road to Worlds recap. Week 2, day number 3. Had 2 great sets today. I'm J-Mac. I'm joined by Trelly and Biggy to break down these sets. Trelly, our first one here, Eldritch Hound sticks Ferryman, goes 3-1 for the Ferryman. But I want to ask you maybe your thoughts on the Ferryman style of play, because it seems they're kind of playing maybe a bit against the grain of the meta.
As far as I'm concerned, they're playing very Ferryman-esque, right, where it's you put Sino on whatever tank he's feeling that week, you make him create space, and then you just let Paul and Cyclone carry. That's the way I see it. That's the way they continue to do this. However, every once in a while, you can tell Cyclone's like, Sino, we need you to do some damage, and he'll play a carry. Like that's what happens. Maybe Biggie's got a better read than I do, but from the outside looking in, it seems like that's the game plan, and they just roll with what they have.
Yeah, Biggie, kind of going on that, what are your thoughts on the Ferryman style of play right now, especially kind of like with Sino? You know, he went with a Pele, which has been kind of the meta pick right now, but did not build it like any other person is playing that kind of god.
I think that's typically Sino. I don't think he likes doing what other people do. I think we have a theory that if Ben started playing what Sino plays, then Sino would stop. We haven't tested it yet, but that's kind of the theory, and it's just kind of Sino. And I think the Ferrymen are especially scary when they are confident in their meta and they develop a good meta, and they're doing that now. You know, they have a good mix of their own, but also taking the pieces they like Paul's taking the pieces that kind of everyone's playing, and they're just building on that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Ferrymen have been doing a whole lot of winning so far for themselves. And speaking also of winning, our second set today was the Camelot Kings and the Gladiators. Kings picked themselves up a 3-0. And I want to kind of ask you something about that Ben or Captain Twig mentioned at the end was this is kind of the training wheels-esque for your first couple of weeks. Got to watch the teams play and then kind of build off that. Now you're going to some of the top teams next week. So what are some of your thoughts to pull from this week's set to move into next week?
I think we just need to keep ramping up. I think our practice has been pretty poor in my opinion. We're just not playing that well in practice. I mean, I'm leaking, but like we lose like a lot of scrims. I think a lot of it comes down to kind of focus, and I wouldn't say we're behind the meta, but maybe less practiced on the top meta picks.
And Charlie, this was a tough set for the Gladiators. They were able to find some early success, but it was kind of the late game closing where they found some difficulty. Is there anything maybe for the Gladiators and fans of Glad so you can kind of pull from this to be highlights for this team and hopefully be able to build on for their next match?
It's rough being a Glads fan, because I think, you know, Bobby got to say it, and it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. The Gladiators team as a whole has always been decent at finding early leads. It's translating that into their objective play, their Fire Giant play, their late game. That's always been the issue, and it's been the issue for not just this season. It's been a while. So as far as what to glance from, you found early leads again. Yeah, that's great, but I don't know if you can just scrim late game. Like, I don't know what it to drill into their heads. Like, that's the big change that needs to be made. But that is what they have to work on. I think that's obvious to just about anyone that's watching those sets, as well as the picks and bans were a question to me. I think you and me talked about it, about how they wanted first pick and they wanted Chernobog. Like, that's what they went for every single time. It seems like second pick more often than not has been getting the better end of these trades, right? You get 2 pretty strong picks as opposed to the 1. Maybe a switch up of their draft style as well. I can't fix the Gladiators as far as I'm concerned, but I can see where some of the problems lie.
We'll have to see if the Gladiators can improve going into the next week of play, but that's all that we have for Day 3's recap. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel here on SMITEPro if you want to watch more of these recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for Week 3.